Seconds. You remember?
Yep. Gotta be Jenny.
Yes. 5, 4, 3. Hello everyone, and welcome to the section Conversations with Actors and Artists. I'm with you as always, Ilya Davydov. Today your guest is for some reason as popular astropsychologist, a believer and a very pleasant person, Sara Lynam. Hello, Sara.
Hello.
How are you? How are you doing?
Yeah, I am good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Please tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, of course. So as you probably already know, I'm an actor, if you follow any of Not For Broadcast, but I'm also a singer and a voice actor. I'm originally from New Zealand, and I currently live in London, so I basically moved across to the other side of the world. Yeah, I don't know what else you want to know. I love cats, I love coffee, I love being an actor.
Okay. With what projects did you start your career, to creativity career?
Well, I guess different parts of my career started at different times. I was actually a dancer when I was a kid, and I did dancing all through sort of like from the age of like 3 upwards. And then I started doing acting at high school, and then I decided I wanted to do it professionally. So I went to university in New Zealand, and then moved to the UK about 10 years ago. And that's when I started auditioning for schools, and I trained as a musical theatre performer. So I did a 1-year course in musical theatre, which was great fun. Lots of singing and dancing and acting all at the same time. And then with voice acting, that's slightly more recent, in the last sort of 5 years, I think. And yeah, and it's kind of been this amazing journey so far, and I look forward to seeing where it goes next.
Okay. Have you ever tried to write your own book? Yeah, again.
I would love to try and write my own book. I would be intimidated because it would be a lot to do. I'd like to try, maybe one day. I do have a really good title actually for my book. It's going to be called Line 'Em Up, because it's my last name, but it also sounds like line them up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's very good. Do you have any projects of your own at the moment, or are there those that are in development?
So at the moment, we're about to start the second season of the podcast that me and my theatre company Uncanny Collective produce.
No.
Sorry?
Sorry, I use translator.
Okay, it's fine, yeah. I can tell you a little bit about that, because it's basically, we've had 1 season already, and it's been really good. It's basically a series of short horror stories, and that's what will be the second season, will be that as well. And then we have a live show in development for October. I was recently filming with the Not For Broadcast guys, but I can't tell you anything about that yet. That's a secret for now.
I wanted to say I didn't know about podcast. You
about the podcast?
I did know. Yes.
It's pretty cool. And me and there's 4 of us in Uncanny Collective. So there's me, my partner Connor, who's actually, you might know him because he's done quite a lot of behind the scenes stuff in Not for Broadcast, as well as he was in Sports Board. Anyway, you can look for him. And a guy called Steve and a guy called Paul, and the four of us all work together and we create lots of different things, but the podcast is the thing we're doing at the moment, and it's called The Darkness Between Us. And if you like scary stuff, then go and have a listen.
Which is better, theater or cinema?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I don't know if I can answer. I wouldn't say one or the other. I think they're both very different. I grew up with cinema. Like I watched way more films when I was a kid than these days. I tend to go to more theatre because there's so much more of it in London. I think unfortunately in New Zealand, live theatre doesn't have as big of a kind of following as cinema. New Zealand has become quite famous for doing really good films these days, which is great. But it does mean that my experience of theatre was kind of limited in New Zealand. But in London, theatre is everywhere. Not while in lockdown, but like, you know, before lockdown and when lockdown comes out, there'll be theatre everywhere. And I love the kind of the live experience, like of being able to see someone performing in front of you, and also it's a different feeling. Also being the person doing the performing, it's nice to kind of have that feedback. But what I love about cinema is the scale of things. Like you can literally make, you know, Godzilla, or like you've got the Avengers who have all the superpowers that they can have. Like you can't really do the same sort of stuff in theatre, so they're good for different reasons, and I love them both.
Okay, I understand. I understand. Again, how do you enjoy Paul Baerstock?
Paul Davydov.
Yes.
He's a nice guy. He's a really good guy.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to work with him in the lockdown level. I was Delia. I was the crazy psychic scientist, and Paul was obviously Jeremy Donaldson. He's great. He's very, very funny. He's naturally very funny. And also during the episode after that, I was there on set as the COVID officer, which meant I was sort of walking around making sure that nobody was being too close to each other, and we wore masks when we weren't filming and lots of stuff like that. There were loads of things we had to look after, and he was there for most of that. And there was quite a few dramatic things happening to his character at that point. Don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, he's really good. He's a very, very talented person, especially I think I mentioned to you before that his like character journey, like from the start of the game to the end of the game, his journey is amazing, and what he has to do to kind of cross over all of that means that he's obviously very, very talented, because I think he does a very good job.
Questions from subscribers and fans. Were there any funny moments during the recording? If so, what are you the most interesting ones? Question from Arina Shuroka. Yes.
Cool. Funny moments. Well, when we were filming, when the lockdown level happened, so originally we were meant to go in and do stuff in person, and then obviously COVID happened and lockdown happened, and so finding the solution to all of that was kind of crazy. And we got sent these little packs that basically had a high definition webcam, our own individual microphone, and we ended up it was like I was setting up a little like film set in my home, which was really, it was quite fun and a bit mad. And actually, I haven't told you this yet, but back then I lived literally just up the road from Adam Willis. So we were basically neighbors, and we were transporting kit between us. So if he was doing his scene next, I would take the little camera and the microphone over to him, and like literally 5 minutes walk away, which was, I had no idea. And we'd known each other for a while, and that was quite fun as well. Yeah.
It's really fun. Questions from Misha Micho. Yes, I translated. What do you expect from the next episode? If you are offered to the start in various DLC, possibly second part of the game, not for broadcast, will you agree?
I would 100% do that in a heartbeat. They're an amazing bunch of people to work for. I don't know whether or not my character has scope to come back, being in the lockdown episode. However, as I mentioned earlier, I have been filming with them recently, so you may get to see a little bit of me in future not for broadcast. But you'll have to wait and see. You'll have to play the game and see what happens.
Okay. And how do you feel about the concept, the game of not for broadcast? Because it is quite unusual for India gaming industry in general.
Yeah, I think what the boys have done creating this game is it's really interesting. It's like nothing I've ever played before, and I grew up playing video games, and I remember when I sort of saw it for the first time, and you sort of have all your vision mixing screens and everything, and the whole board and everything to use. I just thought it was amazing. I've never seen anything like it, and the integration of live filmed footage. And I know that FMV isn't a new thing, but I just think the way that they created it is really, really clever. And also, I really like choose your own adventure kind of style games anyway. Like your actions have consequences. So I love that that is part of the game too.
Okay. I think the questions. So what are your favorite cats breeds?
Can I say that again?
Yes. What are your favorite cat breeds?
Favorite cat breeds?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a great question. I really like big cats. So I like Maine Coons. I like slightly exotic cats, so like Bengals. My sister has an Oriental who basically looks like a triangle. He's got these huge ears. Oh my goodness. I basically love all cats. I'm like that crazy person who does that video, you know, that YouTube video where she's like, I love cats. I love every kind of cat. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky because when I'm not doing acting work or that sort of thing, I'm also a cat sitter. So if people go on holiday, I look after their cats. And that's why if you find me on Instagram, you'll see loads of cat pictures as well. Yeah. Yeah, my Instagram is basically acting stuff, cats, or coffee, because those are like my three things.
Yes. About films. What films do you like more? Is it genre?
I love horror. I also love comedy. That is like I just like to, if you can watch something and laugh and have a really good time all the way through it, I think that's really cool. I like anything with a bit of action in it. But basically the important thing for me is storytelling. Like if it's got a really good story, and you kind of don't really know that you've just sat there for like an hour or something, I think that's really good. Like, you know, if you get kind of swept away with the story.
And what movies and films have you watched recently?
What have I watched? So I recently watched the Bo Burnham Netflix special called Inside. If you know him, he was like one of the original like YouTube comedians who became famous quite like a long time ago. It's very good. It's funny, it's clever, it's introspective, it's quite like heartbreaking because he obviously goes through quite a journey. So if you do watch it, I would recommend having like a big tub of ice cream or like a chocolate brownie to have afterwards, because you need something to kind of lift you up after the experience. But also I've been watching the new Loki, which is really cool. What else have I been watching? Bad Batch, which is really cool. I also like that there's a Kiwi actress in it, so as a voice actor. Plus I'm a big Star Wars fan, so watching Clone Wars and then Rebels and then Bad Batch has been really cool.
About cartoons, have you ever watched cartoons, and which ones?
I love cartoons. Bad Batch is a cartoon. It's an animated series. I grew up watching Disney. My favorite Disney movie is The Little Mermaid. I used to watch it over and over and over and over again when I was a kid. And it's also, I think, one of the reasons why I got into singing, because I really like her singing voice. And what else? Just anything. I haven't really watched too much like new animated kids shows, but I'd like to, because I would love to voice something like that, because that would be really cool. I'd love to voice an animated character. That would be amazing.
Sorry. I think it's time to finish. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. If anyone's enjoyed listening and watching, feel free to follow me on Instagram. It's just at Sara Lynam. You can find me. I'm sure that Ilya will tag me.
Okay, and Liza Arsieva possible? Yes.
Is what possible?
Liza Arsieva sends you greetings. This your fan? Yes.
Yes. Who's my fan?
Yes, in Russian.
Yeah.
Fan.
Oh, cool.
Well, thank you for watching, and thank you, Sara Lynam, for joining me. And bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Запись.